Hi, Martin here. Today I want to show you guys a really cool way to move dowel pins from your cylinder blocks. And you're not going to put a scratch on these things and you'll be able to reuse them. Very easy to do, no special tools required. And this method is so cool. I mean, you're just going to be blown away how easy this is done, and the fact that it even works is the really cool thing about it. All right, well, let's get started. All right, whenever attempting to remove these dowel pins, always protect your engine block. And what I always do is keep around the old head gasket, and you can just place that on there, and this is going to protect that surface. Another thing, what I'd recommend, toss a rag in here, just so there's no accidental strikes against that piston. Now, what we're going to do is remove this hydraulically. And all you need is, let's say I got this bolt right here that I cut the threads off of. Right there. And this bolt fits very nicely in this hole. This is a 1/2 inch bolt, a 1/2 inch hole. And right there, you can see, look at that. It's got such a good seal that it's actually acting like a shock absorber right there. Just by having a film of grease on there, you get that like that. Now, if you can't find a bolt that works, a drill bit will work just as fine. You're going to use the unfluted side, the shank side of the drill bit. This one fits really nice right there. Okay, now the next step. Got myself a grease gun here, and I got one of these really long tips on here. Now the key thing here is you're going to want to get all the air out of here. You don't want like pockets of air. Otherwise it acts like that shock absorber, right, like that. We don't want that. We want it nice and solid. So I'm going to pump grease in here, starting from the bottom and working up. And I don't want, any pockets of air in there. We're going to get this pretty close to full. Okay, I think we got about right there. Taking the bolt, place it in here. Look at it. I mean, this thing is solid now, just like that. I cannot push it down like I was before, because you cannot compress grease. So this is going to work hydraulically. All right, I got the bolt ready to go here. I cannot push that down, so it's nice and full of grease right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it with these pair of hose pliers. That's just so I don't block the video shot. I don't want me getting my hands in here holding this bolt while I'm smacking it and you don't see this come up. Check that out. Came up that easy. Check that out. Now I think that is so doggone cool. I mean, it almost seems like a magic trick that grease can do that. I mean, that's the power of hydraulics right there. That it just pushed that right out with no problem at all. I tell you what, that's so much fun. I'm going to do it again right over here on the other one. And this time I'm going to use that drill bit method. All right, first, let's get this filled up with grease. So we got to take up all that volume. Feels a little squishy, like I got some air trapped in there, but we're going to give it a shot. Now, when you do this, you got to make sure that you don't get down here to this fluted part. If this fluted part of the drill bit is down in this part, the grease has got a way of getting out, and this won't work. Now I'll take a socket like this that fits just over the drill bit. That way I'm not marring up the surface of this impact hammer here. And if you were using a regular steel hammer, of course you wouldn't want to hit that on top of the drill bit and damage it. So this here should work. go. Isn't that the coolest thing? There you go. Now, if you're wondering, well, what if I got solid dowel pins? Let's say you imagine this bolt here, like this was a solid dowel pin. How would you remove that? You could technically do the same method, other than you'd be drilling a hole through the center of the dowel pin, through the entire length of it. Then using that same drill bit as what you're going to use to drive the pin out. In other words, you're going to apply grease through the hole, then take that drill bit, just like you saw in this method, and then drive that pin out of there. Now you may need to replace the pin after doing that, but at least you got it out. Now isn't that just one of the coolest things you've ever seen? I just think that's amazing. Where I learned this was actually at a four-wheel drive shop I used to work at over 30 years ago, and that's how we removed the pilot bearings or the pilot bushings on your manual transmissions, and just filling that hole in there on the crankshaft with grease and putting a bolt in there or whatever and pounding it out, and they'll force that pilot bearing right out of there. Well, and that's where I got the idea of doing this. And I was hoping it'd work, and it sure does. Well, that's it for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and if you did, I appreciate the thumbs up. That really helps out the channel immensely. And if you've never subscribed to me before, please hit that subscribe button right down there and that little bell symbol right next to it, and that way you get notifications of my next and upcoming videos. And I'm also an Amazon affiliate. Please check out the Amazon links down in the description, and you can do all your Amazon shopping through those links, and the channel earns a small commission. That really helps out a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you on the next one.